Oh, sorry. Never mind. Go ahead.
Hold on a sec. Welcome back, everybody. We are back. It's myself, Simon, and Bryant. We have no Tyler this week. I will have an explanation for that in a sec. But first, we're going to get into the intro, and then we'll talk Packers Vikings.
Welcome to another live episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we discuss the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, Badgers football, and basketball from an optimistic perspective. Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
All right. So again, welcome back. I know it's probably going to be tough to be here because the first thing we're going to talk about is a loss to the Vikings. That sucks. Also, the Brewers just lost a playoff game. Also sucks. Season's not over. We've seen this Brewers team bounce back plenty of times. They literally have the mantra that says undaunted. So, I mean, you can't be undaunted unless your back is against the wall and then you look like a badass afterwards. So that's all I got to say about that. We will have more on that tomorrow, though. So Tyler's not here today. He wanted me to start the episode with something that he wrote up. So he said, firstly, I want to take a second to thank any fans of our show who took time to read the post I typed out yesterday morning. Your engagement with posts like that does reinforce that us doing our show from our optimistic point of view is valid and worth doing. Secondly, I would like to apologize to those tuning in wondering where I am for this week's show. I needed to take a step back after seeing some reactions of those. Who do you think the way we do as having negative impact on our own mental health? Sorry, I didn't read this beforehand. This is my first time hearing this as well. So he said, I worked very hard on my mindset, trying to help others do the same for the betterment of their mental health. That said, I am embarrassed by the way of general masses of Packers fans acted on Sunday and do not feel proud to count myself as a member of the same group as some of those people. So in the interest of protecting my energy and mental health, I'm taking this week's show off to reset myself for next inevitable fan base meltdown. Thank you to Jake, who's going to run the show and read the notes tonight. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride if I'm running the show. That's all I got to say to you guys. But
just for some context, Tyler does a lot of the interactions off of our social media page, or off the social media page. So he's the one that's kind of responding to people to try to get them to kind of see it from a different perspective, to try to take a step back and understand what's happening. It's not the end of the season. We are 2-2. We were at 1.3-6 last year, and we're in much better shape. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Tyler does have most of the interactions, so it's been a pretty exhausting 72 hours for him.
Yeah. I wasn't going to comment on it, but I'm going to. Yeah, I protect myself because I don't interact with people after losses because I understand what's going to happen. And I'm like, I'm not going to torture myself because I know how people are going to react to stuff. Like we were just talking about it. People who may post like Malik Willis is 2-0 and Jordan Love is 0-2. If I have to explain to you why Jordan Love is our starting quarterback, please just get a new hobby. I'm being so serious. Get a new hobby. I do not want to have to explain football 101 to everybody. But with that being said, please learn how to deal with losses as a grown adult. It is so sad that we are so emotionally immature as a whole. I'm not just talking sports. People are so emotionally immature they can't handle, adversity. It's sad. It really is. I'm going to put this up and then we'll get to it. I'm going to get to some comments first. Justin says, present for class, sir. Welcome to class. Tyler, always appreciate you, brother. Rest up. We'll see you next week. Yeah, Tyler definitely deserves a little bit of a mental health check here. So as we get into this, we're going to get into some X's and O's, some breakdowns. First thing we got to talk about is defensive scheme, and that belongs to Simon. So what do you got, buddy?
So I don't know if this is new, but it's new to me. And this is the first time I really used it. But NFL Plus has this pro NFL films thing. Have you guys seen it?
Yep. I've been using it for the last couple of weeks.
It's a game changer. They break down every single play by type. So they have
really
when the defense blitzed, this is how many times they blitzed and this is what happened. And then they have a clip of what happened.
Oh, wow.
It's so easy to sift through stuff and find it. I'll have to send you the link, Brian, but it's super awesome. So this is the first week I've found it because I've been trying to find a better way to look through some of the scheme stuff without just sitting there watching every single play, and then nothing happens, and that's like a minute and a half of my life gone. Right. So this was a super easy way for me to like sift through things that I was looking for. So I'm gonna kind of hold off on a lot of the talking points because I feel like it goes into your guys' stuff. But I will say the only 2 sacks we had this week were on disguised rushes sent by non-edge rushers and defensive linemen. Yep. So one was by a rush on Quay Walker where they had like 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, and Quay went up the middle almost unblocked. And then the second one was on a slot rush by Keyshawn Nixon, and Sam Darnold hadn't seen him come in. Yep. I will say that we haven't seen Halfley blitz a lot. There was only 6 defensive plays where he blitzed, and Sam Darnold handled it well, and so did the offense in protection, and all of them resulted in a completed pass.
Yep,
it wasn't great. That's pretty much all I had for scheme stuff.
So for the scheme, so you said we blitzed 6 times, and he completed six passes. So on the 2 that we have a sack, I'm guessing we dropped someone from the line into coverage.
Right. So you saw like a defensive lineman or an edge rusher drop into coverage.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he really didn't have a chance when Nixon got in there.
He was in there. And Nixon did a good job, too, I thought, of not tipping his hand and showing he was going to rush either.
Yep.
Like you saw him right up on the line of scrimmage across from, I think, Addison. And then as soon as he snapped the ball, he was just like, he hit him so hard, too.
Yeah. So to add on, so that website you're talking about, I actually found out about it, and I gave Tyler the tip on that, and I was like, dude, they have video of every single play, and you can choose the camera angle of what you want to see, the camera angle of every play. They have sideline, end zone, and then they have like all 22 version of every single play recorded on there. So you can literally go on there. You want to look up Jordan Love, touchdown passes. You can type in Jordan Love, and it'll show you every Jordan Love pass that happened on Sunday, and you can see the video for every single one.
$8 a month or whatever.
Yeah, it's with
it's $8 a month with NFL Plus.
Yeah, it's with NFL Plus. So you just log in with NFL Plus, and then good to go. But it's a really big tool. I found some disgusting stats on Xavier McKinney that made my jaw drop when I was looking on there the other day. But I don't have secondary, so I'm not cool enough. That's Simon's thing. So I'm going to go to pass rush real quick, okay? So people have a lot of questions about pass rush, so I actually use that website that we keep referencing to get some cool numbers that we're going to go over here in a sec. So sacks, again, were by Quay Walker and Keyshawn Nixon. Nixon made a forced the fumble. That was really a game-changing play and really made things really interesting for the Packers. So 1 second, I'm going to go to the comments real quick. Kim said, I missed the start of the show. Is Tyler taking a break this week? Hope all is good. Yes, he's taking a break. Just needs a mental health break. Just a little bit of reset, nothing serious. Justin said, with the cornerback injuries, I don't think we were in position to blitz, so I think it was smart to hold back a bit on Halfley's part. I agree with that, actually. To a certain extent, I will say I have some opinions on that. So game-changing play by Nixon on the forced fumble there. We had 1 quarterback hit. That was TJ Slayton. And we had 4 players who had 2 hurries, Enagbare, Brooks, Slayton, and Clark, and 3 players who had 1 hurry apiece. That's Bullard, Van Ness, and McKinney. So I wanted to go over some stuff since people are really freaking out about pass rush, right? So the top guys who have the most pass rushes, Clark has 100, Gary 96, Preston Smith 88, Wyatt was 79. Brooks and Enagbare have 66 pass rush snaps. LVN has 59 and Slayton has 47. So I went to quarterback pressure percentage because I wanted to talk about this. I think this will give some people some perspective. Kenny Clark has an 8.7 quarterback pressure percentage. Now, do we want that to be a little bit higher? Yes, but as an interior pass rusher most of the time, he's getting double teamed a lot. I think 9% of the time is pretty decent for a guy on the inside that's getting doubled as much as he does. Gary has a 10.9%. That's the one that really sticks out to you, right? That's the one that needs to improve, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to sit here like a lot of people and be like, he's trash, he's garbage. No, but he's getting paid a lot of money. Yes, that has nothing to do with his performance. He does need to be better because If the Packers wanted to be an elite defense, and when you switch to a 4-3, you want to rush 4 people, you have to be able to pressure the quarterback.
So I've seen a different number, and it's far lower than that. I've seen 3%. And last year he was at 15 to 17%.
Yeah.
Versus
I literally just went on their last
numbers.
Yeah, I was on there last night. It's directly correlated with NFL Plus. This website is, and it says 10.9% on quarterback pressure percentage. So, I mean, it's not horrible, but it could be better. I have Preston Smith at 8.7. Now, Devontae Wyatt is at 12.3%. He is leading the team. Obviously, that's not shocking. He's getting one-on-ones because Kenny Clark's going to be doubled. Brooks is at a 7.4%, and Igbari is at 7.1%. LVN is at 8.5%, and I lied. TJ Slayton is actually leading at 14.9%, but he only has 47 pass rush snaps. He's more of a run stuffer, right? Now, total quarterback pressures, Gary is actually leading now with 11. Wyatt has 10. Clark with 9. Smith with 8. Slayton with 7. LVN, Enagbari, and Brooks all have 5 apiece. So this is just from the NFL Pro Plus. I can actually look up what the website is called to be official here.
ProNFL.com.
Yep, it's ProNFL.com. That's the website I'm going off of. So if anybody has some problems, you can come talk to me. I will directly send you over to there, and you can look up the numbers yourself. But as a whole, do I think they need to be better? Yes. Do I think that not having a fully healthy defensive backfield hurt us? Yes, 100%. But I don't think that you can't just send 4 all day when it wasn't working. I think you could have mixed it up a little bit better, in my opinion. But really, we had nothing going all day in the first half.
So I get that, hurries and pressures are good, and they're getting double teamed. But for Gary, like he wants to be included in these top pass rushers in the league. He needs to find a way to win some of these. I'm going to tell you right now, he has 1 sack in the last 11 games, and that's just not that's not good. I get it that you get pressures and hurries, but you need to get home. There was times during this game that he got stuffed by a running back, a fullback, and a tight end, 1-on-1. And that's just, he needs to be better. Like, I don't know if something's going on, or if it's hurt, or if it's like something going on mentally or whatever. He looks like he's playing hard, but he's just not winning. So hopefully they can scheme up some stuff to get him some easy wins this week, or, build some confidence. But 1 sack in the last 11 games is that, I know he was injured. He's coming off injury last year, kind of wore down at the end of last year, but we need to see this team is the youngest team in the NFL. They're even younger than they were last year, but so far much of our veterans on this team are on this pass rushing front. When you consider Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, and they are not doing their job well enough.
That is true, and also a really good transition. So thank you very much. So Tyler's topic is defensive line. So I'm going to read what he wrote. Created a little pressure with 4-man rush, not as much as last week. Vikings O-line is better. I'm begging the football gods to let Wyatt be okay. He says, Packers generated 14 pressures, which is low. 10 came from the D-line. Packers blitzed 10 times versus 33 dropbacks. Playing without Jair plus Valentine, I think you face a tough choice.
Hey, Virgil.
Coverage or try to generate pressure and hope coverage lasts long enough. Based on previous week, Green Bay was able to get pressure with 4, so I understand dropping more guys back and trusting your defensive line to get some pressure on their own. I don't hate his take, but I also hear Bryant, where, yes, people like Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary have to start winning their individual matchups a little bit more to be able to feel okay with dropping everybody back and rushing 4. That's just my opinion on it. But we have linebackers and tackling, which gives Bryant the floor. So go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so I know Simon and you just talking about the defense scheme a lot. I will say that Quay is to give credit for both sacks, because he had the 1 sack that he came in the middle. But if you watch Nixon's snap, when he vacates the slot and Addison runs a slant, Quay drops right into that hole and makes it so that Darnold can't offload the ball, and then he gets smacked. So really, really good read by Quay Walker to get over there and just fill in that gap and make sure that play can happen. Other than that, I thought it was a really indescript game from the linebackers. They didn't do anything great. They didn't do anything bad. Well, bad. Other than you always have that butterfly effect, right? What would have happened if McDuffie catches that ball? I wish he could have caught that. That would have been a big play early in the game. Could have changed the tides of the whole game. You never know. But you can't put it on that one mistake because there was so many mistakes. But it was interesting. We did play a lot of 3 actual linebackers on the field. I thought we'd see Evan Williams a little more or something like that, but because Quay Walker played every snap, McDuffie was in the 50s, and then Edrin Cooper and Eric Wilson reached in the mid-20s as well, so they were on the field quite a bit. The one kind of thing that hurts is, they had linebackers were targeted 7 times. They gave up 7 completions. You'd like to see them force a couple. I know I screamed, let's not see a linebacker on Justin Jefferson. I know I've seen it at least once. It was on an out route that he caught against Eric Wilson, I think, or Cooper. So that, that's not great, but they, 7 against them. And then they had 2 missed tackles, which wasn't horrible for, considering they made combined 15 or 16 tackles or whatever it was. So I thought it was a pretty indiscreet game. I thought Quay Walker played probably his best game of the year, if I'm being honest, other than in coverage. I thought he was good along the line. Aaron Jones had a good game, but I don't think he completely killed us. The one part we were kind of getting killed on was screens, and you want to see the linebackers make some plays there. There's one play where it's I know I'm harping on McDuffie a little bit, but he got blocked. He didn't even it seemed like he didn't even put any effort into shedding his block and trying to make a tackle on a screen. He just accepted the fact that he was blocked. So I feel like these guys just need to, they need to be playing, crank up their motor a little bit moving forward here.
Yeah, I hear you there. The screen game was really killing us. That's a really good take. So we're going to switch over to 3rd and 4th downs. That is my topic. So 3rd down defense, we held them to 4 for 11 on 3rd down. I can't really be upset because that's not a crazy percentage, right? There is only one 3rd down that I want to talk about. And it's the 2nd 3rd down they faced actually on their first drive. And it was the PI against Stokes. What are the refs looking at? Justin Jefferson. I'm not going to say the word. They were literally both pushing on each other. They were both grabbing each other's jersey. They're both fighting for the ball. They're both looking back. I mean, doesn't Stokes have right to position as well? I thought that's the letter of the law. Is if you look back, you have right to position. And then they call the flag for Jefferson, and I'm like, what?
Jefferson beat him to the spot.
He did.
Not Jefferson. I mean, Stokes beat Jefferson to the spot, I thought.
Well, so I think the problem with the play, too, is if Stokes didn't grab his jersey, then it should have been a push off, or it would have been a push off on Addison or Jefferson. Sorry.
So what was he supposed to do? So now he's in a tough position, right? What if they don't call the push off on Justin Jefferson because
they wouldn't?
What is known as the NFL moneymaker is it's going to be a Justin Jefferson highlight. So the refs are told, maybe you swallow the whistle on that one. 18 for the Vikings. Maybe you just swallow the whistle on that one. So he's going to fight for the ball like he should, and he gets whistled for what I think is crap. I think even playing field, if they're both pushing each other, if it's going to be a push-off, okay, well, then you just let that go because they're literally pushing on each other. I thought that was a great 50-50 chance to just let 2 guys just go at each other. That was just my opinion.
I thought it was pretty ticky-tacky.
I would think the same thing if it was a Packers wide receiver going against a Vikings DB and being like, okay, we got a call there. I'd be okay if they would just let some stuff go.
I don't like to complain about the rest, but I thought they were awful all game, to be honest. So
I thought they were bad to start.
I thought that was really the only egregious thing. I don't remember much else.
Well, the 3 catches, how do you overturn those? But then you call McKinney's a catch when I thought that was the most obvious out of the ones that it wasn't a catch. I felt like his elbow hit out of bounds before, but I'm guessing they must have said control and when it touched was simultaneous. But I thought for sure, at least on one of those catches, you could tell that Wicks got his hand under the ball. You could see the yellow glove under the ball. Yeah. I mean, there was that. Now I thought there was a couple obvious holding calls that weren't called against Green Bay when they're on the defense. They got held. There was one where a guy got tackled to the ground sideways and they didn't call it.
I saw that one. I was wondering if on the McKinney interception, they had a different view that you couldn't see or something. Because I thought for sure that was incomplete when I saw the replay. I was like, how?
And that's why I'm just like, what do they do? I don't know what a catch is anymore. And then I think I get it that Matt LaFleur, and he apologized. He said, I need to maintain my composure there.
Yeah,
but
that was a dumb penalty.
Time out like 2 or 3 times and you're ignoring him. I'm probably doing the same thing. I'm probably losing my mind. Like, what are you doing?
Hold on. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. We'll get there. Hold on.
No.
Right.
I'm just saying the refs were crap.
I know. And I agree with you on the Wicks catch. When they didn't call that one incomplete, and then they called the McKinney one a catch, I was like, that's it. I'm officially confused. I'm just going to enjoy the game like I know nothing. But to stay on topic here, we're going to go to the secondary. That belongs to Simon. So what do you got, buddy?
Okay, now that we opened the can of worms on McKinney's interception, that's his 4th one in the 4th game.
Hey, whatever. It counts now.
We take it. Yeah, it counts. He just continues to be the best player, probably the best safety in the league right now. In my opinion, his coverage skills are insanely good, and the way he's able to get across the field and diagnose plays is really second to none. He was targeted one time, didn't allow a reception, but the rest of the secondary kind of struggled a little bit. Eric Stokes, I thought, was picked on early and often. He had a really bad beat on 3rd and long. And then the second long reception, it was in zone coverage, and I thought maybe he just should have followed the guy. I'm not really sure where he was going because he kind of like just drifted off to the sideline when it didn't seem like it was necessary. Like nobody was there. So I'm not really sure where he was going. He ended up allowing 5 for 7 for 94 yards. Nixon wasn't particularly better. 5 for 6 for 70 and a touchdown. And then Corey Ballantyne got burned on a double move for a touchdown. It was just a all-around kind of a rough day for the secondary in the first half. There wasn't a whole lot that really happened in the second half. Excuse me.
That's awesome.
And then, it was just like a tough day not to have Valentine and Jair, to be honest with you. And the Vikings really took advantage of having our second string guys in.
Yeah, I think so. For me, this is just me, what I personally feel. I think if they have Jair and Valentine, I think they're kind of the guys who have the biggest backbone. They talk the most. They back it up too. Not that Jair doesn't back it up, Valentine doesn't back it up, but I think that the defensive backfield, especially, not McKinney in particular, but the other guys kind of looked a little skittish, in my opinion. Looked a little back offish, and it's like you need one guy, and that's what Jair is. People undersell it, but that's what Jair is. He's in your face. He's gonna tell you what he's gonna do, and he may get beat on a play, but he's gonna come back and he's gonna make 2 or 3 more plays that people don't realize make that big of an impact, right?
That's a good point with the attitude. We lost a lot of our attitude with those two being out because they are the majority of our attitude on the defense.
One thing I hate seeing too is like if a player gets held out for injury, can we stop calling the player soft and stuff? That absolutely just, I think that's like my biggest pet peeve out of like just fan bases in general is like nobody wants to be out there more than the players. You don't think that Jair was like happy, or you don't? Sorry, I'm wording this weird. Like you don't think Jair was upset that he wasn't out there on Sunday? I'm sure he was like he wanted to be out there, but like injuries happen. It's a contact sport. Like, can we stop saying like players are soft or like, oh, what was the other thing? Oh, he's scared of Justin Jefferson. Like, come on, man.
I seen someone say he decided to sit out. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, no,
come on,
like that.
Why don't you decide to sit this conversation out because you're sounding like an idiot right now.
But that just I hate that. That bugs the crap out of me. And then I saw someone bashing Bakhtiari again. I'm like, oh my god, I just can't do it with this fan base sometimes. I try really hard to like not get upset at people too, and like really promote like a healthier way to look at stuff rather than just call them you name it. But it's hard sometimes. But like I said, going back to the main point, like this was a really unlucky week to have 2 of our top 3 outside corners out, and they really made us pay in the first half.
I mean, watch, both of them will play next week when the Rams have literally the most decimated receiving core in the league, and then we'll just clamp.
They have the most decimated offense.
They have
the most decimated.
Talk about injuries, but
dude, they have so many injuries, dude. I feel so bad for Rams fans. My father-in-law especially. he's just, he sees all the injuries. He's just like, I'll be surprised if the Rams win 3 games this year.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'll be surprised if you have 3 players left at the end of the year, dude. The way things are going right now, Jesus.
What was the 49ers team from like 2018 or whatever? They had like 20 some people on IR at the end of the year. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. It was so bad. They ended up winning like 2 games all year. You had Beathard or whatever starting at quarterback. It was ugly.
Yeah, the Rams are weird, dude. How do you beat the 49ers and lose to the Bears? That makes 0 sense. That's like literally opposite of what Green Bay does. But anyways,
got way off topic.
It may hurt your feelings to hear that, but it's true. We're going to go to the red zone defense real quick. So the Packers allowed 3 trips to the red zone in the first half and 3 touchdowns. The first play they had in the red zone was that 3rd and 2. That was a PI on Stokes. That's a joke to me. I'm not letting that go. They had 1st and goal at the 3, incomplete pass, holding on Nixon. That one was a flag. That was definitely a flag. I'm not going to dispute that one. They had 1st and goal at the 1, negative 1 yard run for Jones. And then 2nd and goal, they got a touchdown. So then their next one, they had 1st and 10 at the 22. I know that's a little bit outside the red zone, but I started right there. Jones went for 3. Then 2nd and 7 at the 19. They threw a pass to Jones for 7. 1st and goal at the 8. That was an Addison touchdown run. Then they had the next one.
That was bad too.
Yeah, it was.
They had 1st
and goal at the 4. There was holding on Minnesota. And then 1st and goal at the 14. That was the touchdown to Jefferson. Now, I do want to say this. For all the people that get on Nixon, say he has bad coverage, that was elite coverage.
Yeah.
That was just a perfect pass and a perfect
the other way.
I mean,
yeah, that was such good coverage. Just flew right past. Like I don't know. Like, you can't ask for much more.
You could change the name and the number on the back of the jersey. I don't give a shit what corner that was. If the pass is right there and the guy turns the exact same way, that's a touchdown every time. That was a crazy pass. So credit to Darnold. That hurts to say. He actually played really well on Sunday.
He did play well.
So then the 4th trip, that was the interception by Xavier McKinney. Guy has 5 targets on him this year, and he picked them all 4 times. So maybe don't throw at Xavier McKinney unless you want to turn the ball over. That's
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, just keep throwing at him, please.
That works for me too. Then the 5th one, this was the one where they got a field goal. Jones had a catch for 8, and then Darnold and Jones weren't on the same page. They went negative 5 yards on 2nd and 2. And then 3rd and 7, Darnold tried to throw a pass, and the pass was incomplete. They kick a field goal. So 0 for 2 in the second half in the red zone. They got a little bit better. And you could really tell the flip was switched. And this is where I got the mindset of the emotion probably wasn't there, right? So first half, it kind of looked like the Packers were kind of just going through the motions. And they were getting kicked around the field, getting dragged around the field, whatever, superlative you want to use to explain that. And then second half, it looked like the lights went on. Jordan Love started playing a little bit more confident. The offense started playing a little bit more confident. The defense was playing a little bit more faster and physical in the second half, and you could see the difference. We forced a turnover in the red zone, and we held them to a field goal. So that's big time right there. So now I'm going to stop talking for a second because it's Brian's turn to talk about special teams.
Yeah, I'm kind of over them at this point, to be honest. It's just how it was kind of a kick in the shin even more because we watched Joseph. I know hindsight's 2020, but he went 5 for 5 Thursday night. Yep. Overall, he was pretty good from 45 and in his career. So that kind of hurts. But at this point in time, we just need to find a kicker that's going to make 45 and in consistently. Yep. And if we need to start going from earlier in the distance, or like if it's going to be a 50, 52, 53 yarder, and if it's 4th and 5, maybe we just need to start going for it. Or depending on the game situation, maybe you just punt it. Because we just cannot continue to miss these kicks. It's just hurting us. So his miss from 37, that's the only miss in the entire NFL this year from less than 40 yards.
Not shocking.
He has his field goal percentage right now is less than the league average of field goals 50 yards or more. So I think he's like 69 point something, and the NFL's average on 50 yard or more field goals is 70 or higher. So, I mean, it's just not good enough at this point. And then we worked out 2 kickers today. Great. Fine. Both of them were awful last year. I've seen people talk about Brandon McManus. For one, he actually had a worse percentage than Carlson last year. So maybe we need to call Carlson back and be like, hey, buddy, we might have made a mistake. Or maybe we just bring him on the practice squad and bring in actual competition, someone that's familiar with our operation. And then, I get it that people talk about Brandon McManus. I don't know his numbers off the top of my head from 45 and in. However, I get it that he was cleared of the wrongdoing on this, but there's literally teammates, I guess, that have come out and talked about that he did this and stuff. And that's just not the Packer way, really. I don't foresee them bringing him in. If they were going to bring him in, I think he would have been here for a workout today. Or maybe they're doing some fact finding on their own, but I just don't think that's going to happen. We just have to, it sucks that I don't know that we'll feel like it's sad that we don't think that he'll make a 37-yarder. On his 47 or 49-yarder, I actually looked at my dad and I said, he's going to miss to the right here. And he missed it to the right. I told him, I said, I've just watched this kicker too much already. Everything he hits is going to the right. And it's like, even the shorter ones, you can tell we're going to miss if you add 5 or 10 yards to that kick. So I don't know if he needs to figure it out though, because it's just not up to par. Then I would say Daniel Whelan for president. Because the dude averaged 60 yards a punt.
Yeah,
that fumble that they had, that botched punt they had, he kicked it from our 12-yard line. We got it back on their 3.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is.
So he's a bright spot. I will say, I hope that, I don't know if Narvison's so bad he can't even do an onside kick, but Daniel, that was a pitiful attempt. Maybe he's hoping it bounces there or he just mishit it. But I will say we should never have to have it go down an onside kick, because I think maybe 1 or 2 of those might get covered all year, maybe even less. It's just almost impossible now. That's why I wish they would do, a 4th and 20 or something at this point. I don't know, but yeah, it's not been good. I don't know how Bisaccia survives this season if this continues. The fact that we're just begging for just the basic level of competence from the special teams unit kind of hurts, but it's really not even returns now. It's just on field goals, and it's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild that the Packers have replaced a Hall of Fame quarterback, replaced an all-pro person running back. They've replaced an all-pro offensive tackle, but they can't get a mediocre fucking kicker, dude. What the hell?
I'm going to sound like an old hat right now, but I'm going to call up Crosby and be like, dude, can you kick from 48 and in? Yep. Okay, get your ass back to Green Bay.
Bro, I'm not going to lie. I would take if you tell me that somebody can kick from 45 and in and they make every single one of those,
we're taking it.
You're in. 45 and in, you're 100%, you're in. I'll hold my breath on 40 or on 46 and above.
Yep.
I don't expect people to make much of those. Only the elite guys make a lot of those anyways. So 45 and in, if you hit 90%, please come to Green Bay.
The only other part that stings a little bit is the 2 main kickers that were kind of free agents up for grabs after cut downs was Narvison and Siebert. You know what Siebert's numbers are on the year?
Mm-mm. I don't want to know.
19 for 19.
Yeah.
Oh.
That sounds right.
So.
This is just making me.
So going back to the Daniel Whelan love, he has the second best hang time in the NFL right now.
I believe that, dude.
You want to know who the first one is?
Who's that?
Anyone got a guess?
I got it. It's
a former Packer.
Borges. I bet.
Yeah.
No. Another one.
Oh, the one we drafted from Alabama, but we cut.
J.K. Scott.
Yeah.
He's punting really well, actually.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Is he for Cleveland still?
He's in LA.
Oh, okay.
Chargers?
The Chargers. Sorry, Chargers. Other LA.
Good for him. I cheer for people to succeed in life, even if they're so
good for him.
So I'm gonna cover coaching for Tyler. He says, Matt LaFleur flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. Timeout should have been granted, but ended up not mattering. I think he got penalized because the NFL wanted the sideline as a point of emphasis because 2 teams got in trouble last week. So I think Matt LaFleur was used as an example. Game plan wise, everything goes out the window, went down big early. I gave Matt LaFleur credit for sticking with it during the last 2 weeks because they were playing with the lead. No point in trying to stick with the game plan when down 28 points. So I have some thoughts on this. First of all, I don't like the thought of Matt LaFleur being used as an example. Where the hell was the example being set when Steve Spagnuolo was calling timeouts? Where was the example then? Yeah. Why is Matt LaFleur looking directly at a ref? The ref makes eye contact with him, calling timeout, and then doesn't give him the timeout. What is that? Fuck that shit about being used as an example. How about you guys teach your refs how to be a goddamn ref? My goodness. Now, talking about the game plan, I do want to give credit to LaFleur. So after Love, I believe it was the pick that went off of Dobbs' hands. I saw they made a cut scene where it was showing LaFleur sitting on the bench looking at the iPad. From that point on, the offense fucking cooked. They were cooking after that. That was when Love was racking up all the yards. People were wide open. The last interception that Love had, the one that he kind of threw up to Wicks, I'm not going to nitpick because I'm not in there getting chased down by men that want to rip my freaking face off. But he did have Tucker Kraft over the middle.
I thought the same thing.
I immediately when I saw that play, I was like, you got Kraft, because you could see that they were sending the blitz, so they were going to protect deep, right? Now, I will say, kind of homage to Brett Favre, walking in with the Brett Favre jersey, just kind of hucking it up and hoping for a prayer. But, it is what it is. Now we are going to switch to offense, and we're going to switch to tight ends, and that is Simon.
Yeah, honestly, it would have been such a good day if it wasn't for Kraft's fumble. He was having a hell of a game.
Yeah.
He had a touchdown, 2-point conversion. Obviously lost the fumble on the sideline, but he had 6 for 7, 53 yards. He had 49 yards of yak. Like, he's just a yak monster.
Yeah.
We love that. Musgrave, I don't think it's that much of like a 1A, 1B sort of thing like we thought it would be. It was like a 65-25 split between snaps.
He's been pretty disappointing so far.
Who, Musgrave?
Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, he's not getting a lot of opportunities, and I mean, I don't know why. Like, I'm not in the coach's room or whatever.
Block, dude.
His pass blocking is not good.
Hold on a sec. I will say, with Malik Willis in, that does change game plan a little bit. Yes, he can't block, but in those games, maybe the game plan's a little bit different, and we call some more pass plays against those teams. Maybe Musgrave gets some more opportunities. I will say, not to discredit Musgrave, but Kraft has just been so goddamn good in every aspect of the game.
And that's why I'm not. That's not why I'm not mad at.
No. I agree with what you're saying.
With Musgrave, my thought is if we're gonna throw the ball 50-something on times and he still really doesn't have an impact, that probably doesn't look great on him. But
he talking about catches for 13 yards.
Yeah. Did you see what Kraft said?
He just had a lot of underneath stuff.
Yeah. Did you see what Kraft said today?
No.
Which I kind of like. He just said, "We got to hold ourselves to the standards we set at the beginning of camp, and that's a championship play style." So I think he's kind of talking probably about the mistake he made. I think he knows that he's got to go out of bounds there. There was like literally, if he doesn't get even if he doesn't fumble there, he's gaining like 1 or 2 yards, and we're killing 25-30 seconds off the clock. So I mean, hopefully that's a mistake he learns from and does not do it again.
Yeah, I mean. We'll see. But like, Kraft has definitely earned his snaps for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm not upset by it. And then
we're kind of unlucky. How many times have we seen a ball get punched out of someone's hands on the sidelines and it just go flying out of bounds?
Yeah. That was it just like plopped.
It died.
There.
That ball just laid there. I thought the same thing. I was like, how'd that ball just die on the field?
Yeah, because I thought it went out of bounds at first. That was my initial thought. Like, I saw it get punched out, but I thought it was going to go out of bounds by like a body or something. Yeah, nobody rolled over it. Nobody touched it. It just went straight down and bounced like one time. I was like, that's just how this game went,
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Now we go to wide receiver development, and that is Bryant.
Yeah, obviously a pretty rough up and down game for the wide receivers. Jaden Reed is just a monster. We need to get the guy the ball as often as we can. But I'll start with Christian Watson. I feel awful for Christian Watson. That was a bad throw by Love. Caused the defender to dive into his legs. So for everyone that is talking garbage, talking crap, or saying whatever you want to say about Christian Watson, let me run full speed at you. Well, you're not like looking at my direction and dive sideways in your knees and then tell me that you're not hurt.
Brian, you don't have any kill.
I don't care. I'm a heavy boy. I can get enough speed to cause some damage. No lie, I had Chase Kinsley earlier together, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude, I'm getting old. And I can really catch her. She's my 9-year-old." But I will throw my body weight into your knee, and then I want you to tell me that didn't hurt or that you didn't get an injury. A sprained ankle is different than a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
Athletes, you can kind of expect them to take care of themselves with hydrating, stretching, and all that for muscle injuries. I will give you a little bit of wiggle room if you're like, what the hell? Why do they keep getting soft tissue injuries? That does have a lot to do with someone taking care of their bodies to a certain it has something to do with their bodies. But when someone rolls up on your ankle or smacks you at the knee and turns your leg over, there's nothing you can do in that situation. So people saying he's soft, he trade him, I'm done with him or whatever. He's been great for us. He's been looking super explosive for us. It was just a very unfortunate. Yeah, you can talk about he's unlucky and he gets injured. I don't really buy into that. You know what I mean? Let's hope he only misses a game or two and he's back out there just looking like he was. He's only had one game with Jordan Love this year.
Yep.
He was injured in this game pretty early on.
Yep.
Literally on his first target, I'm pretty sure. So give it some time. Dontavian Wicks, obviously. So for one, PFF credited him with 2 drops. It was more than that, I think. Granted, now Jordan Love came out and was like, I need to put the ball in a better position. But if you want to be, you want to be a really good wide receiver, a lot of these wide receivers make those catches. That first one was brutal. Like, I get it. It was a little bit lower, but it was like at your his thigh or / knee area. That's at minimum a first down, probably a touchdown with the way he was running away from people. And then the one in the end zone that hits him in the hands, I get it. I feel like if that was Justin Jefferson, they would have called pass interference because the guy 100% drug across his chest and hit him a little bit early, but it hit him like right in the chest or in the hands, and he dropped the ball on the goal line. However, I will say his second half, I feel like after that drop, they came out and they threw him that quick pop screen, and I think I told my brother is a Packer fan. He was watching the game with me. I said, I think they did that to try to build some confidence with this dude. And then I don't think he dropped anything the rest of the game. He almost dropped the first touchdown he caught, but after that, you've seen the really nice, big gain along the sideline. Then you've seen the big other touchdown. So I'm hoping that helped build some confidence for him. Dobbs, I feel like I want him to get more targets, to be honest. I feel like he makes a lot of plays when they come his way. I know the one bounced off his hands for the interception. However, Musgrave, for whatever reason, thought Love was throwing 9.5 feet in the air and tipped that ball before it hit Dobbs, too. So it was already a ricocheted ball, and Dobbs tried to adjust on it, and that was just really unfortunate in that situation. But I think Dobbs, he can come back and be in that safety blanket for Love. I think we could see him have a big game in L.A. now that, I think Love's going to hopefully will – look, I don't want to jump ahead, but this is a game I feel like we should win handily with the Rams are not the team they're going to be later on in this year if they get healthy. So I'm hoping that we can get the run game going. And I feel like Dobbs will, be a big part of that. For one, his blocking, 2, his ability to be kind of a safety blanket on third down for Jordan Love. So I think we're going to see, us come back to that a little bit. But overall, really kind of roller coaster game for the wide receivers, aside from Jaden Reed, who just has been super consistent all year. So, yeah.
He's absolutely dominating right now. Jaden Reed's so good.
Yeah, he's got superstar
like 5th or 6th in the league or something like that in yards. I can't remember exactly.
Which is ridiculous because Malik Willis also only passed the ball like 30 times in 2 games.
Yeah. That's insane. So we're gonna get the pass game distribution here. I'm gonna read Tyler's notes on that. He said 9 different players targeted, 8 with receptions. If Watson played the whole game, I'm confident he makes at least 1 catch. Wicks 8 targets, Reed 8 targets, 7 for 139 and a touchdown. Dobbs 8, Kraft 7, and Jacobs had 5. Love 14 of 27 when not blitz, 18 of 27 when blitz. Paints a weird picture. Yeah, Love was really good against the blitz, by the way. Bunch of different picture but a much different picture when under pressure. 7 for 19, 36.8%, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions compared to when kept clean. 25 of 35, 71%, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. So it's not that Love can't handle pressure. It's that he can pick teams apart when kept clean. I think some of that was him not trusting his legs. So the thing about Musgrave, in my opinion, is Musgrave is seeing Love throws low, throw him outside, throw him behind people. So who is he to not expect that maybe he just let one go a little bit, high and made him jump for it. Like you said, just kind of an unlucky play in my opinion. So now I got to go back. We are going to offensive line, and that belongs to Bryant. So what do you think of the offensive line on Sunday?
Yeah, they've been that was the best game that I think they played all year. They had the one kind of boneheaded penalty by Elton Jenkins for the false start. They got to clean that up, but I thought I've seen people still knocking on. I was just talking. I won't say his name, but we were just talking on our chat channels. Rasheed Walker has 2-3 holding calls a game. He didn't have a single penalty this game. He looked really good. Zach Toms looked really good. This was the leading sack producing team in the NFL, and we gave up 1 sack on the day. And I think it was kind of a miss block or kind of a blown read or whatever, because it happened pretty quickly. So overall, I thought it was a really good game. I don't think our running blocking is quite, which is crazy to me because we're like the second leading rushing team. Now Malik Willis did help with that a little bit. The one game he kind of popped off, but our run blocking is not up to standard. And we started slow last year too, and it kind of picked up in the second half. I just looked Josh Jacobs. You wouldn't think it, but he's 7th in the league in rushing right now for yards wise. He hasn't really been involved all that much the last 2 weeks because last 2 weeks ago it was every time he had a good run they had a penalty. This week he just didn't get the opportunities because of how the game unfolded. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we can take a step forward with our run blocking. I think our pass blocking has been really good. So that group's been pretty consistent. So just continue to do what they've been doing. It's been a pretty good group.
I will say too, not to get too off first of all, Zach Tom's probably MVP of the offense. He's been outlandish this year, so good in both pass blocking and run blocking. I also want to shout out Jordan Love might be one of the best pocket manipulators in the NFL. He's so good at just avoiding the rush and climbing the pocket, and really, I mean, it's both for sure, but Jordan Love's so good at it. It's insane how much last year I was I'm gonna watch how he manipulates the pocket and how he gets away from the rush, and he might be one of the best in the NFL. Honestly,
he's not even fully healthy.
Yeah,
that's that Tom Clemens quarterback school, in my opinion.
True.
So now we're gonna go to run game. So Simon, why don't you continue talking about the run game?
Yeah, Bryant kind of alluded to it, but the run game, it was good. It just we were down 20-0 so fast, and at that point, you just got to try to play catch up. But when we ran pretty well. They had 19 attempts total from 4 different runners for 86 yards, 4.5 a clip. But we only had 3 first down runs, which is not throwing the ball 50 times. Usually means you don't win the game. It's not a recipe for a win. But overall the run game, and Emmanuel Wilson has been so good this year as a compliment back to Josh Jacobs. He's really he really stepped up in that RB2 spot that we thought was going to be Lloyd. But while he's injured, Emmanuel Wilson's been so good. And he's been good in pass pro too. He's been pretty solid.
Yeah, he had the one mistake where he went inside and they did a loop. But that was really the only pass blocking mistake that I think he made. He probably just got coached up on the sidelines, hey, watch for this.
Was that the sack? Or was it just...
No, I think that was just a quarterback hit.
Well, Floor did comment that there were some issues as why pass blocking issues as to why he wasn't on it. If you watch Andy Herman and Aaron Nagler's Let's Talk Football, Andy Herman did a breakdown of it. It was actually pretty good. Talked about the first couple pass reps were pretty good by Jacobs, but then there was a couple that were pretty subpar that didn't turn out too well. which is why Wilson ended up on the field.
Well, that's what happens when you go from a pretend NFL team to a real NFL team. You get coached up. You learn how to be a complete football player. So Jacobs is going to be learning a bunch of stuff this year.
Yeah, and to be honest, the fact that he's kind of faced some adversity and he's still rushing as well as he has, 5.7 yards a carry against this team. He just didn't have the opportunities. I would have loved for this game script to go different, because I kind of went into this game telling some of the Vikings fans around here, and because I have a lot of family and friends, I said, this is a different running back than you faced so far this year. He's the best running back you have faced so far this year, and I think he can give you some troubles. And I think he did give him troubles. So he just only had like 9 opportunities.
Yeah, I think if the game works out differently, I think Jacobs might have a monster game. I saw some holes. I think the O-line blocked okay on the running game. I mean, you don't average 5.
They were okay this week
without blocking, pretty good. So we go to third down offense. That's mine. So remember, we held the Vikings to 4 for 11. We were 4 for 12 ourselves. 1 for 7 in the first half, 2 picks on third down. That's a recipe for getting down 28-0, in my opinion. Second half, they went 3 for 5. So again, I think the flip was switched. Packers fans and Badgers fans are just wondering why one team decided to play in the first half and the other team decided to play in the second half. Why can't they decide to play in both halves? We're going to talk about that horrific loss to USC tomorrow. So join us at 4 o'clock. But yeah, the Packers third down offense in the second half was 3 for 5. So they're much better, but you can't go 4 for 12, especially, throwing 2 picks on third down as well. That's just shooting yourself in the foot. Go to red zone offense here. I'm going to read what Tyler wrote. He said, first trip, missed field goal. Second trip, pass to Dobbs, wasn't a TD, correct call. Love to read dime before half. Yeah, that was a dot, and that was
such a good throw.
That was a great throw, and that was
a great catch.
Dog.
That was a great catch too.
Third trip, 3 plays from 15 to score, cut lead to 14. Fourth trip, fumble recovered at 27-yard run. Jacobs, then Kraft TD. Good play by 85. I agree. That was a really good scripted play, by the way. He told that kid to get in the weight room, which I was hoping you were going to say when you were talking about tight ends. He told that Vikings wide receiver, hit the weight room, little dude. Fifth trip, 17-yard line after big play to Reed, then Wicks touchdown. 4 or 5 on TDs is improvement. Packers should have been 5 for 5. 5 for 5 getting points. They should have been. They weren't. So now we'll talk about Jordan Love. I'm going to go to Bryant first. Bryant, what are your thoughts on Jordan Love this week?
I thought it was fine. I mean, you never want to see 3 interceptions. One clearly was not his fault, and I should have brought that up during when I was talking about the wide receivers. It actually wasn't even Luke Musgrave's fault. Matt LaFleur actually talked about how Dobbs was supposed to round it off more or something there and shouldn't have been behind Musgrave as much as he was in that position. Still, I think, Luke, you got to be like, dude, if it's 9.5 feet over your head, it might not be for you. You know what I mean? Or if it's like 3 feet above your head or whatever it was. You never want to see that, but I thought overall he had a pretty good game. I thought he was trying to fill out how comfortable he was with his knee. He did take the one shot that he grimaced on where the Vikings player, tried to dive over him late and kind of hit his knee, but he got up, no worse for wear. It sounds like he was a little sore, but he'd be all right. You could tell he couldn't fully, I don't know if he couldn't do it or he just wasn't comfortable with it. He wasn't fully planning and kind of throwing the ball. So that's where seen a lot of those balls get thrown that were lower. But I really feel like in the second half, he kind of came along. The only play that he made that I'm just like, Jordan, what are you doing there, buddy? Is the one where he throws it up just he's it.
Yeah.
He wore that Favre jersey before the game, and I feel like he was just kind of tapping into that ghost of Brett Favre. You know what I mean? So I don't know what he was thinking there. Kind of a bad read. He knows that he needs to do that. They talked about the one where Christian Watson, got hurt. How that was just a really, really good play by that linebacker in that situation. Both him and LaFleur talked about how normally that linebacker is going to take the crosser in that situation. He just fell off at the perfect time. He did talk about how, Jordan needs to see that and see better. But I feel like, no way better than knock off the rust and throwing over 50 times. And I expect to see a much better Jordan Love going forward. as long as he doesn't settle into some bad habits, trying to nurse his injury a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm going to read Tyler's notes, and then I'll go to Simon, then I'll give my own. So Tyler said, Packers are not better with Willis than Love. I don't know why that needs to be said out loud, but apparently it does. This game specifically, the Packers do not get back in the game without Love. Again, I don't know why that needs to be said, but apparently it does.
Hey, real quick before you continue, guess what? Willis doesn't play defense, so even if Willis is on that field, we're still probably down 28-0, and Willis is not bringing us back like Jordan Love did. That's just not happening.
Agreed. Matt LaFleur commended his composure. I'm glad they didn't pull Love like some fans were suggesting. He needs the experience. Even in a blowout, he's part of the Packers being the youngest team in the NFL. I agree with that. People complained about Rodgers being conservative with the ball, that they wanted to see him chuck the ball up once in a while like Brett Favre. That Love chucks the ball up like Brett Favre style, and everyone is dogging him because they're used to Rodgers never turning the ball over. Love is a little bit of a mix of both of the two. Yes, that interception in the end zone was bad and shouldn't have been thrown, but he's also got some gunslinger in him. Let him be his own person.
Let him cook.
No matter when he came back, he was going to be a little bit tentative. I agree. Better sooner than later. Also, we know GB is typically very, very conservative with injuries. Why are people acting like suddenly it's too soon and they know better than the trainers and doctors? Because, Tyler, people on Facebook know everything. That's why. So I'm laughing because I literally didn't want to see any of this. I didn't want to see that because I know how I am as a person. I would have scrolled down to the bottom and looked at the score and all that stuff. I would have just looked at the stuff that I was interested in. So I'm laughing because I actually agree with a lot of what he just said there about, people like, why doesn't Rodgers throw it up more? He's so conservative with the ball. I've seen that way too many times. So I am going to read some comments here. I'm kind of dogging these comments. I'm sorry, Justin and Cody. Justin said Love played with resilience and never got frustrated. The last int was uncalled for, but overall he played well. 398 passing yards sounds good to me. I agree with that. So before we finish up with Love, I'm going to go to Simon. I'll give my own thoughts. So Simon, what do you think?
Yeah, for me it was, I don't know, kind of an up and down day for him. I thought he handled the blitz pretty well. Brian Flores loves to blitz. He blitzed almost 50% of the time against Jordan Love. And there were some mixed results. He went 16 for 25, took a sack, 149 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And Bryant kind of touched on those interceptions a little bit, and I don't think they were as bad. I know 3 interceptions is bad. You never want to see it, but it's not as bad as people made it out to be. Like you said, the Wicks one was kind of the only one where I was like, dude, what are you doing? What are we doing? No. But I mean, sometimes you have to let your good wide receivers go make good plays. I'm not overly upset with Jordan Love's performance. His fourth quarter was absolutely insane. I wish I had the stats here, but he threw for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's a whole game for some quarterbacks. Yeah. And they had a chance to go win the game at the end, regardless of everything else that happened. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
When we stopped, sorry to interrupt, but just on your point there, when we stopped Aaron Jones for that 4th down play, we scored 3 plays later.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That was 96 yards.
You still going? You got some more thoughts on it?
That was basically it.
Yeah. So I thought the same thing as Tyler. The first thing I thought is I was like, he's going to be favoring the leg when he comes out there. You saw when he actually picked up the first 3rd down conversion for the Packers when he ran for that 3rd and 7.
That was our first 3rd down.
That was the first 3rd down that we picked up.
Wow.
So, and he got up and he was limping a little bit, and I'm like, all right, well, now we're going to see how he reacts to it, right? Now that he's got hit a little bit, he still has to put pressure on it to throw the ball. Now we're going to see how he reacts to that. So him being, injured and coming back, this is always the game that a lot of Packers fans are kind of circling for him to come back when they found out that the injury wasn't as bad, right? Conference game, division game, at home. I mean, it all made sense, right? So for him to come back, have some bad luck, in my opinion, have some little bit of bad ball placement, I'll say, on some throws, but for him to ball out in the second half and give us a chance to win, I don't have to say anything else. He gave us a chance to win the game at the end of the game when we weren't supposed to be in this game down 28-0. Justin said, the Vikings won by taking advantage of our weakness. That was their game plan. Blitz a quarterback coming off an injury and throw against our second-string corners, and they won by 2 points. They should be embarrassed. I don't know if they should be embarrassed.
I mean, I don't know about embarrassed. You take division wins away. Away division wins all the time. I don't care how or
I can't completely disagree with him. The fact that we had so many mistakes and so many turnovers and just did nothing in the first half. The fact that they only beat us by 2 points was impressive for us, honestly. Like, I'd take a lot away from that.
I think they tried too hard to get Aaron Jones a touchdown that game. They should have kicked a field goal and
trying so hard at the end. You could see it on McConnell's face. He was looking he was looking on the sheet. He was like, what can I call? I need to see him Lambeau leap like a half.
I thought that was a huge mistake by them. I was like, I don't know why they're going. Well, I knew why, but like, you're like, as a coach,
that's true.
Because take the field goal and then you go up by 2 touchdowns instead of you could lose by a field goal. I said what
I said. Hey, stand up business, my man.
Let them cook.
Cook. I agree. So I'm done talking about the Vikings. I'm sick and tired of talking about the Vikings. So now we're going to switch over. We're going to talk about Packers in LA. We're going to take over LA this week. We finally don't have a noon game, so that'll be kind of nice. I could take a nap before the game. That's nice. I'm old, man. I like to eat.
We got we got an afternoon game.
Nice.
Yeah, we got 3:25 games, so that's nice. So first, we're going to talk about defense. I'm going to start with Simon this time, so I started with Bryant last time. Give me your defensive preview.
We haven't had have we had a primetime game yet this year?
Nope.
Yeah.
Technically the Eagles game.
Oh yeah, the Friday. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that was played on a Friday.
Yep.
Yeah. Defense. It's gonna be so hard not to just dog them because that team's like we were talking about earlier. That team's just so beat up in like every aspect of the game. Yeah. And it's hard. Like their offensive line has given up 12 sacks and 54 pressures. I'm hoping this gives our edge rushers a little bit of confidence. I really want to see Rashawn Gary doing well. I'm tired of seeing people dog him, and I want to see Preston Smith make a play too. So I'm really looking for the edge rushers and defensive front to get it done, and I want to see it done. What?
Justin's comment.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Oh God, what did he say now? He said we should take advantage of all the Rams injuries, blitz a lot, and win by 2 points a week.
I don't foresee Halfley changing up his game plan to blitz a lot. I will say that, but I do like him rushing some exotic.
The disrespect, bro. The disrespect. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough.
It's all good. It's over here, man. Good. I see. Yeah, and just I will say the guy that I think has been playing well for the Rams offense is Tutu Atwell. I think he's been their most consistent receiver since Kupp and Puka are not playing. Neither of them are playing this week. I know we haven't jumped to the injury report or whatever. They've already ruled Kupp out, and Puka's still on IR. Really, it's going to be containing Kyron Williams. That's the thing that I'm looking for from this defense the most. Wow, can't do sentences, I guess.
Yeah, sentences are hard. Especially when you have to read somebody who writes for a living, and he's very good at writing them. It's a lot of words. So I'll read Tyler's notes, and I'll go to Brian to kind of.
Well, can we just go to mine real quick because it actually meshes right with what Simon just said. I literally wrote. All I wrote was just slow down Kyron Williams. He's their only threat, and we don't want them to be able to speed up the game time essentially by running the ball. That's what I wrote. That's all we have to do this game, in my opinion.
Well, I think getting pressure on Stafford
is a Hall of Famer. Okay, but yeah.
But okay, so
Stafford has to be. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Stafford has to be getting rid of the ball one of the fastest in the NFL.
So Justin said, and the Rams will run screen passes just like the Vikings did. Got to stop that. Yeah. The D-line, in my opinion, the D-line, especially the DNs, the edge rushers, have to be able to recognize that and react to that better. That's my opinion. Tyler wrote down, D-line, Bears generated only 9 pressures versus Rams, which is surprising considering they blitzed 11 times. Those 9 came on only 7 pass attempts. They did convert into 3 sacks, 2 by D linemen. So I'll be looking for something between Tennessee and Minnesota from the D-line. I'm not expecting 5 sacks while rushing 4, but 2-3 is reasonable, and 5 overall is doable. Yeah, the Rams have one of the worst starting offensive lines in football when they're healthy, and they have a bunch of people injured on their offensive line already. So I would say I agree with that. So for me, on defense, I talked about third down defense. They're doing great with third down defense. So I really have nothing to scoff at with that. I think they're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting people in down and distances and winning third down. That's a good way to put yourself in position to win football games. Pass rush. I'm sorry to say it. The stars need to be the stars. Clark, Gary, they need to be the stars. Even Preston Smith, to some extent, needs to be a star that he is from time to time. His shine may be dimming a little bit as he gets a little bit older, but he still is a star from time to time. I think that the depth is there, considering the pass rush. I think Enagbare has been good. I think Wyatt has been good. I think LVN in spurts has been good. So the depth is definitely there, which is what they were trying to build. But they also expect the stars to be the stars. So we're going to need them to stand out and be different than the other guys because they're getting paid different than the other guys. Red zone defense. I think the lack of pass rush and middle coverage from the linebackers especially makes it really tough to stop people in the red zone. Those are 2 things that you need to stop people in the red zone. That's what bend don't break is people being able to pressure the quarterback so he has to throw it hot, rallying to the football, and then covering the middle of the field, making it tough on people. I think a little bit less man defense in those situations and a little bit more zone blitz could help with the pass rush and the middle coverage. Just roll everything over to the middle and protect the corners. AFAM said teams didn't know how to contain Xavier McKinney's baggy jersey. Yeah, they don't know how to do that. That is true.
Is that a thing?
It is now. So now we're going to talk about our preview on offense. Any, mini, money, mo. Start with Simon.
Where do we not win?
Yeah.
As equally as their offense has been bad, their defense is really bad. They are allowing 165 yards per game on the ground and 5 yards per carry. They're averaging 8.6 yards per pass attempt against them and a league worst 6.4 yards per play. They're 31st in defensive scoring. I can't. Bryant said it earlier. Like, I don't know how we don't win this game. I'm not even trying to talk that much trash because I actually just feel bad for them. They're just so injured and just nothing's going right for them.
Yeah, when Jawan Jennings is putting up highlight reel days and career days against you, got some problems, dude.
Yeah.
He's an okay player, but he's not supposed to look like that. Dude, bro looked like prime T.O. out there. He was going insane. So, Brian, you got any thoughts on the offense?
Yeah, I mean, for the offensive line, just continue what, they've been doing. The Rams give up one of the most rushing yards in the league at 165.5 yards a game. Mm-hmm. On top of that, they for wide receivers, we'll need Bo Mountain or Heath to step up, but the Rams have given up 8 touchdowns. They're allowing 72.5% completion, a pass rating of 122.7. I mean, get the ball, get the run game going that they can't stop, and then get the play action going,
which they can't stop.
That they can't stop. Honestly, I'll tell you, this will probably be my head score. It will probably be one of the biggest spreads you'll see all year. Because I just really, honestly, if we lose this game, it's not, I think the crowd will be probably 40-60. So I don't even think we'll be a true road game. Like, if we lose this game, that's a bad loss. It's a bad loss in this situation. the Rams will be a much better team later in the year. They are not right now. They're like when they came into Lambeau Field last year.
Yeah.
Like,
was it Baker?
Argue that not having Cup
to the moon
and Puka is just, it's just as bad not having Stafford. It's like, and having Ripon. I honestly think they might have a better
Ripon,
chance.
was it?
I honestly think they would maybe have a better chance against us in LA if they had Ripon, but they had Puka Nacua and what's his Cup at this point, because I feel like they just don't have weapons really to beat us unless we make mistakes. So I know I'm sounding cocky and confident, which isn't normal out of me. It's just I'm being real. Like, I don't know how they beat us, because even our losses, we probably should have won, or we really shot ourselves in the foot. So as long as we avoid mistakes, we should win this game pretty handily.
Yeah. I thought it was Baker last year. It was the year prior to that.
Yep, it was the year before.
I forgot. Yeah, that's right. He was on Tampa Bay last year. I'm an idiot. Yep. My bad. I like A-Fam.
A-Fam's going crazy in the comments.
Yeah.
Dude is serious, man.
Those Friday night CBD samples.
Sounds like a good Friday night, my guy.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So Tyler's notes on the offense, he wrote down pass game distribution. I like that they went back to Wicks, help him build confidence. They need him as a playmaker, keep spreading the ball around. Also, I like that Melton and Heath both got in the mix after Watson went down. I agree. Red zone. Excuse me. Rams are allowing 60% TDs in the red zone. Bears only got 50%. If GB gets 5 chances again, I'd be okay with 3 for 5. That's 60%. But I'd be very happy with another 4 for 5 game. That's 80%. I'd be happy with either. Yeah, that's all he wrote for offense. So for me on offense, I wrote, I have third down offense. So I wrote, let's establish the line of scrimmage and be a more balanced offense this week. That's something that I'm really going to be keying on for the rest of my notes. I want to stay ahead of the chains and need to use Jacobs for what we brought him in for. That's also, if you're wondering, that's also a good way to get Love into the rhythm of the game and keep him clean so he doesn't get hit, is if you run the ball and control the line of scrimmage. So let's see the comments we got here. We got Matthew. I'm going to the Packers game on Sunday. Have fun. Be loud.
Yeah,
there's going to be more Packers fans than Rams fans because that stadium does not belong to any LA team. Hey, sit on the Packers side. That's cool. Havenstein sure had a nice run in LA. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he is a massive, massive human being. If he was bad at run blocking, he would not have had a future in the NFL. So now we have to go to injury designations, and I know that belongs to Brian. So go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so starting off the Rams, kind of like we've alluded to, they have right now at this point they have 11 players on IR. So that's what their number is at right now. So I'm not going to go through them all. They're just very, very injured. Obviously, and they're Nate Bloom or whatever his name is, their tackle, and then Nacua is a big injury. Obviously Cup is a big injury. They're just very beat up right now. For the Packers, we got several we have to keep an eye on this week, unfortunately. I felt like everything that could have gone wrong on Sunday went wrong. For the most part, we had been healthy all year. And then we've seen 2 big injuries. Luckily, it doesn't sound like either of them are going to be even IR injuries, but either way, you don't want to see injuries. But for us, we have Watson we got to keep an eye on. It does sound like he'll miss a week or 2. Jair, we'll have to see. That flared up. It happened. Matt LaFleur said yesterday that it happened in practice on Thursday when they're in pads. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Jordan Morgan, he hasn't practiced at all. I'd be very surprised if he plays this week. Maybe we see a return to practice. They didn't put him on IR, so I got to think they don't think he's going to miss 4 weeks. So I could see a ramp-up period this week of practice, another full week of practice next week, and then returning to the rotation. Obviously, Devontae Wyatt, I haven't heard much on that. That I think no news there might be good news. I feel like if it was bad, it could, they would have. If it was really bad, we probably would have heard something for sure already. I know he was in a walking boot and a crutches, but we've seen players that they'll put him in a walking boot and crutches real quick just to get him to stay off that foot for the next 2 or 3 days, and then they'll play in a week or 2. But I feel like if it was season ending or IR or anything like that, we probably hopefully knock on wood that we would have seen the move made already. Jordan Love, we'll have to see how he responds, and then Valentine. If Jaw's not going to be able to go this week, it would be great to have Valentine back. He did practice all week last week, at a limited fashion. So hopefully he, that was kind of a ramp up period, and he'll be good to go this week.
Yeah,
a lot to keep an eye on. This is gonna be a long list.
Yeah, so I'm gonna answer the first one that
I'll save you some time. Limited.
Do you think Devontae Adams is gonna resume his career in GB?
No.
He will be wearing green. He'll be wearing green soon.
Oh boy,
it'll be jet green. And yes, it will.
Dude,
he was
the Jets are salvaging their whole future.
She was stirring the pot and said, "Do you miss Aaron Rodgers?" And he said, "How can you not?"
Hey, I mean, I know that they're salvaging their future, but how could they not after they watched us do it and seen our results?
I just Hassan Reddick. It's all that the Jets are such a bad organization, dude. Such a crap organization,
dude. They're gonna give them a second round pick
and Hassan Reddick.
They might.
Oh, that'd be so bad.
No, I seen Bleacher Report. They put their little packages out. They said Hassan Reddick and a conditional third rounder. So,
Jesus. Okay, so as we're moving on, the weather is awesome in LA, but we're playing in a dome on Sunday. So,
yep,
that's your weather report for this week. Now we go to matchups. I'm actually going to start with Tyler on this one. So me, because I don't feel like talking the whole time back to back again. Matchup. Tyler said Green Bay D-line versus LA O-line. Can they generate pressure with 4 or 5 rushers? It's a great question to be asked. Bryant,
that was mine too.
Oh, it's yours too?
Yep.
Okay, never mind. Now Bryant, to go.
Mine is Jaden Reed versus their whole entire secondary. I don't know who can cover him. I was literally looking at their players. Before the show, and I was like, let's see who they got in as a linebacker or a safety or a slot corner that can cover him. And all I really have, it's not like I went and watched every Rams, play, but going off of PFF and all the other easy stats we have available to us, none of them are playing well. So I feel like Jaden Reed could have another monster game this game.
Jaden Reed stock.
Tyler and Simon are the same, and Bryant and myself are very close. I have Packers wide receivers versus the Rams defensive backfield. So as I've said on this show before, my father-in-law is a big-time Rams fan. He likes all LA teams. Sadly, he likes the Lakers and he likes the Dodgers. I don't ever watch the Dodgers with him because I'm not doing that to myself. But I watch all the Rams games when they're not at the same time as Packers. This last week they were on at the same time, so I had them on the laptop. Packers on the big TV because I pay the rent in this place, and we're gonna put the Packers on the big TV. So, but I watch all the Rams games, so I know a lot about the Rams. The Rams defensive backfield is fucking dog shit. I'm just gonna say it out loud. They are fucking dog shit on defense. And if the Packers wide receivers don't cook this week, a guy that I'm really going to be looking for is Romeo Doubs. People were bringing it up earlier, and I'm like, please stop looking at my notebook because I know that I'm smart. And you want to sound smart like me. I think Romeo Doubs is going to go crazy this week. I do think that Jaden Reed is probably the only wide receiver that has superstar written all over him right now. But the other guys are also very, very good. So we're going to go to X Factors now. I'm going to start with Bryant this time. So, Bryant, go ahead.
Mine is Josh Jacobs, and that's because I alluded to earlier. Did I get you? Yeah, I alluded to earlier. If he can get going, the play action is going to roll, and we're going to hit a lot of Jaden Reed crossers and a lot of Dobbs on the outs and a lot of Tontavian Wicks deep.
You had different reasoning, but I'm just going to go because I also have Josh Jacobs. You
just wanted to sound smart like Bryant.
I said he should be getting 20 touches a game. I'm sorry to bring back PTSD of talking like I'm talking about Aaron Jones. But this offense needs to run the damn ball. We've seen how good it was when Jones was going crazy last year. The ball control offense with the deep shots is what makes us elite. He needs to be getting 20 touches. Good thinking, Bryant. Simon, go ahead.
You're just trying to sound smart like Bryant. I get it.
Yeah, maybe. I do think you guys are both smart.
Justin said, I'm not sure I know a single player on their defense. That's tough. I know a couple, but... Matt said 27-21 Packers. Jaden Reed is ridiculous. Agreed. All right. I have Jordan Love. I'd like to see, I think last week was shaking off some rust from sitting for a couple weeks. So I'm looking for him to have like a 158.3 type of game.
Do you see that he's tied for 5th in the NFL in passing touchdowns? Now that he had 4 that game and he's missed 2 games.
Jeez. I fully expect Jordan Love to just come out slinging it. I know we want to rely on Josh Jacobs a little bit, but I think Jordan Love's going to control the first half. I think he can go out with like 203 TDs or so.
I can see it. Just so you know, Justin, I know you know who Tre'Davious White is. He is on the Rams this year. He's not that good, but he's definitely
he's a little over the hill now.
Yeah, he's cooked.
A couple injuries and he's cooked.
He's cooked. Tyler's X Factor. Wicks without Watson at least this week struggled with drops versus Minnesota, but he could feast this game. He could feast this game.
Let him feast.
To some score predictions. So first I'm gonna go. I have to write these down because I do every week. Simon, give me your score from the head.
Yeah, I almost never have games as like 2 possession wins or more, but I have us winning 30-21.
30-21.
Yeah.
Okay. Bryant, what's your score from the head?
27-17.
27-17. Okay, Tyler from the head has 31-20. So I did this because I'm petty. People crying that we're scoring so many points and losing. So I'm going to pick us scoring 29 points again, but this time I'm going to be on the winning end. 29-24 is my score from the head. Simon, what's your score from the heart?
33-17.
Oh. That actually, after I look at that on paper, that looks realistic. I can see that happening.
It was almost my head prediction.
Yeah. Bryant, what's your score from the heart?
34-13.
34-13. All right. So Narvison's going to make a couple field goals, and Bryant's going to talk good about him next week.
No, we're going to score 5 touchdowns. He's going to miss an extra point.
Oh, you're. Tyler's score from the heart is 38-16. That's an ass whooping.
Simon's a cool guy. Thanks, Matt.
I have 36-20 from the heart. Justin has 31-14 from the head and 34-7 from the heart. 34-7. My father-in-law's in for a long fucking Sunday afternoon, dude. Holy shit. Wow. So we're gonna go.
That'd be crazy. He said we're going for 2 every time. Let's go.
I love it.
Simon is a cool. I agree with
mine to
Matt.
36 then.
I think the Packers are about to put up a fuck ton of yards in the Rams, in my opinion. We're gonna do some. Simon says, I'll say Tyler's offense first, and then we'll get through Bryant's 15 of them that he has. I know I have to make that joke because I'm Tyler.
I was gonna say it changes every week.
Next week I'm gonna come with 15.
Dude, you'll be back next week, so I hope you do.
That part is I hit one of, or almost hit 2 of them. I hit one again this week, but it was that we would double them up in sacks, which we did. And then my other one was we would score at least 30 points on them. I missed it by a point, but yeah.
I got one right at least every week. I got one right at least every week. So, Matthew,
you got yours, Simon.
Too. That'd be fun.
What?
You got yours last week.
Was it the McKinney one?
Yeah.
No, yes.
We don't make a couple mistakes.
I thought I had another one though.
Yeah, we are in Wisconsin. Tyler and I grew up in Wisconsin. Simon's not in Wisconsin, and Bryant's not in Wisconsin. But Tyler and I born.
We will all 4 be there next year for the draft.
We will be.
Pending.
I will kill you.
I can't. It's not my. I forgot to tell you. I don't think I told you
afterwards.
Yeah, I think you left. So
I think you did leave.
Says, real quick. Offense. He said, "Love 4 TDs again. This time, no picks."
Yes.
By the way, I called Jordan Love having 4 touchdowns last week. So
yeah.
I've had one right, at least one right every week. So I'm feeling pretty.
I think we're doing pretty good on these. To be honest,
I think we are. I think we went from like going bold to like going like, yeah, I'm gonna make it kind of realistic so I can sound like a smart ass. Brian, what do you got for offense, buddy?
For offense, I put that Jacobs and Reed go for 150 total yards each, and that the offense goes over 400 yards total.
Oh yeah, if they each get 150 apiece, we're going over 400.
Yeah, that's 300 just from them.
Yeah. I think 150 might be hard for both of them. I'm gonna say thumbs down. I think they just spread the ball around a little too much, but I think they both go. Both are gonna have good games.
Hey, when we score 48 points this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Gary, LVN, and Quay each have a sack.
Ooh, hang on, we're not there yet. Justin said, honestly, this could be the week Jacob scores his receiving touchdown.
Yes, please.
He was so close to it last week.
Yeah,
he got tripped up.
He did get tripped up. He made a crazy juke. I thought you were going to say something just about Jacobs because I went with Josh Jacobs again as well. I put Josh Jacobs over 100 rush yards and a rush touchdown. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I didn't go too crazy. That's why I said what I said.
It's not
before.
bold.
I know. That's why I said what I said before. I was like, we're not going that bold anymore.
Mine's also bold. Josh Jacobs.
Unless you get 140.
Josh Jacobs has 3 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, dude!
He doesn't have a touchdown. He's due. He's due.
He's due. I want that so bad. I want that so bad. So I'm hoping yes. Defense. Tyler said Rams no TDs, all points on field goals.
Ooh. Yeah, I can see that.
That's why he had the 38-16 score.
Yeah,
that's all field goals.
16 or 15.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, he had 16. So, yeah, he has a touchdown in there. What am I talking about? Math.
Bold. So he's going off.
Yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's how bold it is. He's going off of normal math.
Yeah.
And into stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, my bad. What do you got, Bryant?
The Packers hold the Rams to less than 225 yards total.
No.
I'm probably gonna say no because I could see us getting so far ahead. They just start chucking it. And we play prevent defense, and
Kyron Williams is having 100.
He's gonna Kyron Williams is gonna play. He's been playing pretty well this year. I'm gonna say no only because I think garbage time yards and stuff will come into play.
Well, that's why I bumped it from like 200 to 225.
Oh yeah, that 25 really made a difference.
It did. It did when they put up 223
points. Tell me
they put up 224 yards this Sunday.
Okay.
And you're like, damn, Brian's smart.
Yeah. I'll come on the show next week and be like, damn, Brian's smart if it comes through.
All right.
Or if Matt Stafford gets hurt, I think we hold him less than 225.
Yeah, it's fair. I have McKinney gets a 5th straight game with a pick, except this one goes for 6. This one goes for 6.
It's hard for a safety to have a pick 6.
It is.
So.
It is.
That's really
unless
I'm just gonna say yes because I want it to happen so bad.
Me too.
I want it to happen so bad. Josh Jacobs is gonna have a good game.
Yeah, if you have him on your fantasy team, he is a must start.
Yeah.
The
Rams are really bad against the run, and
I think he's
everything.
We're gonna score a lot, unless
we should score a lot.
Everything is pointing towards us scoring 30+ points this game.
Yep.
And okay, one thing I want to go back on too is like as much trash as we're kind of like talking a little bit and being a little confident. Matt Stafford's still a good player,
and McVay is a very good coach.
Yeah, and McVay's still a very good coach. So Stafford better run. He is not much of a runner. So.
Yeah. He's not a runner nor a track.
Yeah. We can't. The Packers are not going to underestimate this team whatsoever. I think I just still think McVay's a really good coach and Matt Stafford's still a savvy vet. So McChicken.
Also, I mean, LaFleur's brother's on this team, so you gotta imagine he wants to stick it to his brother.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I thought he was with the Jets for a while.
Who knows?
Wasn't he? When Saleh got first hired, he was their offensive coordinator.
Yeah. He was with the Jets for a little bit because he followed Saleh.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, with that being said, thank you to everybody for sticking around. Thank you, Justin, again for setting that alarm clock and joining us from beginning to end. Thank you for everybody else who joined us. Thank you to Simon and Brian for helping me through my growing pains as learning how to be a host. I'm trying my best over here. But hopefully the Packers get a win. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. Tyler maybe. But myself, I'll be talking about the Brewers for sure. I'll be joined by Mike to talk about the Badgers football. They're going to get a win this week too because Purdue is trash. So thank you again, and go Pack, go.
Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.